Hey guys, so welcome back to the next video. What we're going to do here is create our directory structure. So go ahead and create a new directory and we'll call this components. Now inside of the components folder we'll have our components such as our text input, that's component, buttons, this icon banner, these list items, etc. Those are all components. What we'll also make is make another folder. So let's get the structure set up good. Go ahead and put screens. So that will have our screen code, which is these screens here. So splash screen, login screen, register screen, etc. We'll also create a utils folder. So in the utils folder we'll have general utilities, anything that is used throughout the app just to help us develop better and easier. So we've got that out of the way. Now let's go ahead and start making some of these components. So I guess a really easy one would be the icon. We can get that out of the way very easily. What I like to do is just clear all of this out. We'll keep this container flex1. Yeah, we keep all of that. And I'll explain what these are in a second. So let's go ahead into our components, right click, click new JavaScript file, and let's go ahead and call this icon. So with WebStorm it automatically uses Git, so I'm just going to click add. So inside of here, to keep it very easy, well, for the time being we'll go through it. So we need to import React from React with a lowercase r, just like that. And then we want to import our individual components we're going to need within this component from React Native. So we've got our text, image, view, and style sheet. So there we go. That's not the right one. Not React Native Web, just React Native like that. Now we're going to create, so let's explain a little bit. So text is our simple text object which will display some text inside of there. Image will display our icon, so our icon is an image. View is kind of like in HTML divs, so it's the way we lay out and structure our components or our items. And style sheet is how we style it. Inside of there it uses kind of similar to CSS, but it's all camel case rather than hyphen separated. And as we code I'll explain it a bit more. So now we're going to use a bit of React here, which is creating a functional component. So there's two ways to create a component. So here we've got our traditional way. So this is also a functional component using function here. There's another way using the arrow function, which I prefer to do, is const icon equals, and then you see this parentheses. This is arrow function. This is ES6 syntax, and inside of these parentheses we can add parameters that our app will take. Now there is another way of making components, and that is class based, which is quite good and easy to use, but I think functional components keeps it lightweight, very object oriented, and as little code as possible, because ideally you don't want too much code in one file anyways. You kind of want to have loads of files and kind of connect the code together. So inside of our functional component we'll create a return, and inside of our return we'll put a view. So for the time being we'll create text object and say hello, I am icon. And then we want to export our icon, so we do export default icon. So by default when we import this it will export this specific class. So let's go ahead and into our main component, let me just change this to a arrow function. So app you can do the same thing if you want. Const app equals, there you go, just like that. And then export default app. It's not necessary to do that, but I just prefer it that way. And inside of here, let's go ahead and import our icon we just made from ./component/icon.js. Now in here, we'll go ahead and call icon, just like that. And once we do that, if you do Control S, load up this, let that refresh. There we go, hello I am icon. So if you noticed, when I made this component, it brought up style and it also brought up text. So those are parameters to which we can provide to this component. So in the case of text, let's put some title here. Now in here, we can go ahead and replace hello I am icon with text. Now if we were to save that, we can load this up. Now you can see it says some title. So now we're passing data down through our components, through parameters, and in this case it's called props. So it's expecting some sort of value and it's using it here. Now what we'll do is go ahead and restructure our view here, so we can keep that text there. What we can do is here, let's go ahead and use our image. Now inside of our image, we want to go ahead and do that like that. Now our image requires a source, and also, well, yeah, just a source is what's required. Now at the moment in our assets, we've got an adaptive icon, fav icon, normal icon, and a splash. So what we should do is go ahead and delete those four. Okay, and open up our assets folder here, and inside of here, as you can see, we've got an error. That's fine. We want to get our adaptive icon, the PNG, go ahead and grab the SVG, grab our fav icon, and splash, and just drag it into the assets folder, just like that. Click add, and now we're going to go ahead and do, yeah, so this error is just saying that we don't have anything in our source, which is correct, we don't. So now that we've got asset stuff there, let's go ahead and type require and // so we're going out of the components folder and we're going to go into the assets folder like that, /icon.png. We can save that, and let's see if this loads up. There we go. Okay, so it loaded up hello world. Let's do another reload. Sometimes it takes a little bit. So there we go. You saw our splash screen just loaded, and we've got a huge icon here. Now this is a very large icon. What we want to do is provide some styling to shrink it. So this is where style sheets come in handy. So what we can do is create a style sheet out here called styles, and we will use .create, and inside of here we'll create our styles we want. So specifically for the image, in our design, if we had a look at that, we made that 128 by 128. So let's do the same here. Let's say our width is 128 by height of 128. Now if we go here and say style equals styles.image and save that, there we go, it's shrunk it. So now it's nice and small. So now let's go ahead and add the rest of our styling to make it look more like our design. So we need a container. Now this container is the styling for our view. This is kind of like the master component that's holding it all together. So here we want to go ahead and say justify content center, align items center. So that'll just center everything inside of here, and we can pass that into our view right here. Style equals, so you remember we've got this style object here. This is for when we want to bring styles from the outside, like here. That doesn't mean we always will, but it's good to have. So what we can do is dot 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 slash dot 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 style, which will basically take everything from the style object that passes through and puts it into this object here. And we can also do styles dot container like that, and that'll combine the two objects together. Now once you've done that, if we were to save that, you won't actually notice much of a difference, except that the subtitle text here has gone to the middle. So now let's style that text. So let's go ahead and call this text like that, and let's give it our color. So our color was in our style sheet here. It was this one, copy, and just like that. Nice. Then our font size, let's say about 32. Font weight 600, so that's semi bold. Padding top 15. Oh, actually, let's move it from padding to margin top. So this gives it a little bit of space between the text and the image. And let's align it. Let's text align by center. And let's save that and load that. And let's do a proper reload. Oh, my bad. I haven't actually provided the style. So here we can go and do style equals styles.text like so. And now if we save it, there we go. So we've got our icon component, which took a little bit to make, but it's not too bad. There's one thing we can do is use something called prop types to specify, or actually no, we don't need prop types. We can ignore that. What we can actually do is icon.default props equals object. So here we do text to do app. So by default, right now you can see our text is some title, but let's say we don't provide this text object, and then save that. By default it will use to do app, which is exactly what we want. Brilliant, because this uses it, that uses it. But we also have the option to rename it, like register, create to do. So the next video we'll make a few more components. Thank you guys.